us at the table is Lieutenant Todd Allen with the Madison County Sheriff's Department. Welcome to the
Thanks for having me.
Well, we are so glad to have you here because you're here to talk about a really cool initiative that you all have where you are training your officers to interact with people on the autism spectrum. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we started doing this a few years ago. It was kind of initiated when our sheriff, Mike Cole, he goes to a sheriff's conference every year. And of course, one of the things we do routinely is when you see these incidents that happen around the nation with law enforcement, we, of course, one of the first questions he asks is, are our deputies prepared to deal with something like this? And you can go on YouTube and you can see all the videos sometimes where people on the autism spectrum have come in contact with law enforcement and it hasn't turned out very well.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's one of the things he mandated the training staff at the sheriff's office to do, is to prepare our deputies on how to deal with citizens on the autism spectrum, because our goal obviously is to provide the best service for all the citizens that we service. So we started looking into what we needed to do. The Department of Criminal Justice training, which we as a certified law enforcement officer have to attend 40 hours of training every year to keep our certification. One of the classes they offer is dealing with citizens with special needs. And there is a section with autism, so we started sending deputies to that. Our insurance carrier, Co, we get a simulator. It's really cool. It's like basically drops you into a movie that you interact with the screen. And not only can we do traffic stops or warrant services, all different kinds of scenarios. One of the scenarios we started using was interacting with people on the spectrum.
Oh, I
so
love
this
that.
is this is interesting because with my very limited background in law enforcement, being able to comply, being able to stand still, being able to follow commands is an important thing for people to be doing when they're interacting with law enforcement, and people on the spectrum can't always do that.
Yeah, so what can the community do or parents do to help their loved one that may be on the spectrum interact with law enforcement?
I think what I always tell people is we want to do the right thing. We want to be helpful in every situation we go to. A lot of it is miscommunication. So if you can help us identify that one of your loved ones is on the spectrum, it really kind of changes what we do in our outlook on it. Because you can go to a call, and all police officers have heard that domestic violence call. There's an open line screaming in the background.
Yes.
And of course, we always think of the worst, but it may be someone on the autism spectrum having sort of a meltdown with their caregiver, and that's obviously going to change our response. So a lot of it is helping us realize we're dealing with someone on the autism spectrum, and then preparing your loved one if, God forbid, you were involved in a traffic accident and were incapacitated, and how do we get in touch with someone to help come to the scene and help with this person on the autism spectrum.
Right.
The state has the autism awareness license plates. You can do the puzzle piece stickers on your car.
Oh, okay.
You can even, there's all kinds of identification bracelets and stuff like that that you can do to help us know we're dealing with someone on the spectrum. We also in Madison County have something that's called Smart 911, where you can basically enter all kinds of information that when we're dispatched to the call, the dispatcher can say, hey, there's a 13-year-old on the autism spectrum.
So we actually talked about that the other day, and we encourage people to do that. So we only have a couple seconds here. So we've got the Smart 911 QR code on the screen so that people can scan it so that they can sign up in Madison County. But real quick, like 30 seconds, what kind of feedback have you received from the community on this since you started it?
Nothing but positive stuff. Even our deputies, which, you can imagine police officers in training, sometimes they curl their nose up knowing they have to go to training. But it's been very positive. Our school resource officers are actually coming to me and saying, hey, we're reading to these kids, these autistic kids. I have a very good rapport with them. I'm the guy that when he's upset, he comes and talks to. I do want to give Miss Mills a lot of credit too. She was instrumental in helping us come up with this training for our agency, and it turned out great, and we really owe a lot to her and my autism.
Shout out to Susan! Well, thank you so
an
much,
effort.
Lieutenant Allen. We really appreciate you being here and appreciate all the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.